the last game, I know you pride yourself on, and you tussle and determination and things. The rebounding didn't go your way, and you talked about it on your post-game show. With your current roster construction, how do you get your team to rebound better? What's the message and what's the work you got to do?
I pulled out those numbers last practice, and I brought our group that's playing minutes together and asked them the same question. I gave them each their defensive rebound percentage number. And we had 3 starters that I think were at 0. At 0, the percentage of minutes played of how many rebounds they got, defensive rebounds you got. We had 3 starters at 0%. That's hard. You ask them, like, tell me how to coach it. We talked like that, but the only thing I know how is we got to keep having 5 guys take ownership. That's and I'll be honest with you, it wasn't as much the checkouts as it wasn't. It wasn't like, hey man, they're not even. It was the trench rebounds, the rebounds in the trenches where there's 4 or 5 bodies in the paint and the physicality of them going to get it and the length that they had. It was in the trench rebounds that got us. We're doing some really good things. I can't say enough. Mike Houck just told me, we were looking at this, in the 5 losses we've had together, we've outshot our opponents from 3, from 2, but the 2 stats that stick out is in those 5 losses, it's been 142 to 90 free throws and 80 to 38 in second chance points. Like A&M's got an elite defense. We had 21 assists one of the games, 19 assists in the other games. We're doing some really good things. It's just the narrative of the rebounding in the trenches, getting everybody, and that second chance points, getting to the foul line, and because that's part of it. The rebounds, they might not have a basket, then you get a foul. So those are some things that we've continuing to address with these guys. And like Arkansas, I taught Glenn. Glenn got 6 against Arkansas, and I glorified the hell out of that. And that was really good. But our leaders in defensive rebounding last game were the 2 shortest guys on the floor. Dayton and Duke led us in defensive reboundings last game. And we've got to have more rebounds from other guys.
Coach, you mentioned those numbers as far as assists, 3-pointers, shooting. Largely outplaying the Aggies the other night. How encouraging is that once you guys kind of fix those rebounding issues, that you guys can go a long way this year? We're
constantly having to have the guys understand that, because it's easy to get down. It's easy, you come back, we had 1-2 in a row, then we were going in there with a lot of confidence. We did a lot of really good things, but we got pounded in the trenches. It's to keep, that's part of, I think, all the coaches in the SEC, a lot of us, have to make sure they understand the confidence and the push, the chase. It's hard to chase and be if you're not confident. And our guys to understand that, it's a top 10 team on the road, and it was a 1-possession game, but it's hard to win when you have that disparity rebounding. That goes back to the peach basket, when you see those. To be honest with you, when you see those rebounding numbers, if I told anyone in this room those numbers, you probably said we lost 15. And we are doing some very good things. We've got to get to the foul line. That's another press conference. And then we've got to, the rebounding. And there's been a game or two at home we had to take care of the ball.
It's tough to ask about Jeremiah after every single game, but it felt like he'd gotten past that little freshman wall a little bit. But after a game like Tuesday, how's he responded? What's been your message to him?
Tough game for him. A&M style of play, very physical. They don't let you get to the rim. They don't let you take more than 2 dribbles without coming and trying to rip it out of your hand. That's their MO, and they're great at it. So my whole thing is we put it behind it. We learned it. We talked to him about it. We talked about when you come back in the game, have your mind in the game before your body. So if you come out at, let's say, arbitrarily the 11-minute mark, and you go back in at 6, be seeing what's going on. Have your mind in the game before your body checks in, and that's a thing that older players. We talked to him about it. I'm really confident he's going to bounce back against Vanderbilt and have a great game.
You mentioned Vanderbilt. Just what's important about this matchup on Saturday?
I was so impressed with Vanderbilt on tape. Since Alabama, they play the fastest of any of the teams we've played. They play really fast. They're third in the nation in forcing turnovers, steals. They steal the ball. In their wins, in the SEC in their wins, they've averaged 16.5, 17 forced turnovers. In their losses, it's around 11, a little bit over 11. So there's a big difference when teams that take care of the ball. We know they want to run. They execute tremendously. They got great pieces. They got elite shooters. They got some big, rugged point guards. They got 2 posts that can shoot it and post up. They got Edwards as a jet quick guard who can really score. A lot of pieces. And very well coached. They come out, they space you. But what's important, transition D, taking care of the ball. Those are 2 huge ones. And you can't lose Nickel. I think Nickel is on a really good heater. He's had 12 threes the last 3 games, shooting over 50. And I always say this, it's one thing to shoot the ball. It's another thing to shoot the ball at this level when everybody in the gym knows you can shoot the ball. I mean, it's not like he's gone into these games and people saying, let's see if he can shoot. He's quick release, 6'7", moves without the ball, moves with the ball, does a great job. And 12 threes in 3 games, shooting over 50%. He's on a heater.
You mentioned shooting. We've seen Bryson, those 2 Texas A&M games specifically, we've seen him really find a rhythm. Has there been a through line between those 2 games, and is there anything for him specifically to build off there? Just
keep building off and stay confident. I think the spacing, and I think guys did a good job finding him. He's got to continue that because he really helps us when he obviously is a huge threat that way. Just keep staying with it with him.
It's hard enough for freshmen to come in and have an impact, but you got a couple of things that are different about Jeremiah than other freshmen. Number one, he's a year younger than most of them. And then the other one is that he has more responsibility on his shoulders as ball handler coming in as that young of a guy. Relative to other guys who are young, how do you feel he's handled all the responsibility and the pressure that's been on him?
I think he's handled it great. I really do. I think there is a lot coming in when you miss a whole summer. Most high school guys that are doing their natural growth come in and they got the summer. He was playing AU and he went and thrown into it. Now he's thrown into unequivocally the best college basketball league we've seen. Yes, there's ups and downs like every player. But how he's handled it, he's a great teammate. He's been great to study and film with and learn from. He tries so much to address the things that he needs to get better at. So that's handling it. You're not always going to be A+ in production, but his approach is getting so much better. His approach to this, and sometimes when you're young, you're thinking about the outcome so much and the result. And that's natural for anybody. And I think his approach is really improving. And that shows me he's handling it better. And he handles it really good. I mean, God dang. I told him flat out, I never had to handle that. I sure as hell wasn't on a draft board. Why is everybody freaking laughing?
With Dayton, I know you recruit him thinking that he could make an impact, but has he surprised you a little bit with the fact as a freshman that he's been able to come in here and give you guys really valuable minutes in conference play? Not
really surprised. We were trying to find minutes for him, and you had the Duke, Kobe, and Jeremiah. We're trying to find minutes, and you just here and there, Michigan game, and it just started. Now it's just increasing, and so it's not really surprising. He's always been tough. He's always been competitive. He's always had a high IQ. So those things, and he's getting. And here's the thing, for him, the people understand. Just for everybody, inconsistent minutes usually means inconsistent play. It's hard to be super consistent if you're getting 3 minutes, one game, 10 minutes. It's just the way it is. But 7, 8, 9 on every roster in the country has inconsistent minutes. It's just the way it is. 7, 8, 9 kind of depends on the flow. And he's establishing some more consistent minutes, and you can just see his confidence growing. And to to have a veteran top 10 team, top 10 atmosphere at A&M, a physicality game that's like no other. It's like a, and we had 2 freshmen on the floor over, Dayton played 21 minutes, Fears played whatever he played, 20 something, and 2 true freshmen. And so he gives us a big spark, but it's not a surprise. He's been doing it. That's who he is.
Coach, got to get to practice. Thank you.